The scenario to be played is Destruction. It has a 12x6 rectangle placed in the middle of the board. It has the kill box in effect. You will then also place 2 objectives on opposite corners. You get 1 point for destroying or removing from play your opponent's objective. You get 1 control point for controlling the zone and 2 for dominating. First person to 5 points wins the game.
Hello everyone, it's General 1812 again. In today's battle, I'm going against Pokey in his Makeda3 list. This should be fun. Enjoy.
Alright, for tonight's list I decided to go with Makeda and the Exalted Court again. It's kind of what I played before, you know, trying to still work on the kinks out for how I want to play the list. Thought it'd be kind of nice to put a Rhinodon in because, well, you know, it's a Rhinodon. It needs some love somewhere. And the rest of it's kind of, you know, the standard list. Alright, I won the roll, or I'm going first, something like that. Place Makeda square center. I know that wall there is going to be helpful. I'm hoping it's going to be helpful anyways. Then pretty much the rest of the battle group just kind of molds around her. The Brute will take up a secondary position behind, mostly do safeguard. And of course the beast handlers behind all the beasts because, well, that's what they gotta do. And the Willbreaker in the middle just for in case he needs to do something.
I've set myself up in the center of the board with Maelok by a snapper on his right, a snapper on his left, behind Wrong Eye next to Snapjaw. I have 2 posses to Maelok's right. One of those posses has a Witch Doctor directly behind them. And to the far right, I have a posse of Gators, the Croak Raiders, and a Witch Doctor to support the Croak Raiders. This should be an interesting play. Again, I've never played the Croak Raiders before, so watch and enjoy. Feel free to make any suggestions to me on the post. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Alright, turn 1, typical turn 1, everything's basically going to run, vortex goes up, stuff moves forward. Basically for the list idea for this was to capitalize on the feat, or try to, as much as possible. And Molik Karn with Trainwreck, fantastic way to do that. I was trying to see if I couldn't get the Rhinodon with Trainwreck to do something. Especially against standard infantry. Unfortunately, Gators are not standard infantry. But because I knew he was going to have a kind of a tough time against most of the Gators, anyways, I was trying to get him up front. Maybe his bait. His threat is pretty close to what the Gators can threat, and I was hoping with Enrage, I could get him up there, and he, you know, dice -2. Should be able to do some damage. Hope of being able to take out at least 1 or 2 a turn if he can survive. The rest of the list is really, you know, what I think is a standard Makeda list. The Savage, Molik, a Brute, and then of course the Willbreaker and beast handlers. You know, everything has a piece, a part, and yeah.
Here we go. Turn 1. I activate the blue Gators. I give them march and then run them up so they can clear the forest. I then activate the green Gators and give them march also so they can get through the forest as much as possible. I then activate the Witch Doctor, move him forward his 5, and give the Green Gator Zombify. I then activate Snapjaw, run him forward, and rile him for 1. Wrong Eye then moves forward, blows 2 Fury to give himself submerged. I then activate Bull Snappers. The first Bull Snapper activates, moves up, and gives Spiny Growth to Snapjaw, blowing 2 of his Fury. I then activate the second Bull Snapper, move him up. He uses his Animus and gives one of the lead Gators Spiny Growth also. The Croak Raiders activate, and they move up their 6. And 2 of them attempt to Oil Gourd Molik Karn. They both fail. And then a couple of them try to throw their spears at him. I don't remember if I do any damage. I then activate the second Witch Doctor. He moves forward and zombifies the Croak Raiders. Maelok then activates, gives Death Pack to the White Gators, and puts Malediction on himself. And that's the end of my turn.
Turn 2, I could get some engagement going on. I could get, I have the distance, I have the speed. Now it's just a matter of trying to figure out, can I get beasts there within range of my caster to where they can be forced and still be effective. I don't think, the wall that was winning my saving grace, I was hoping was going to, I was hoping to win my saving grace. It's actually kind of a hindrance now, because I could potentially get a little further forward if I were to charge her. Maybe charge her up, do some stuff. But it's really kind of weird. So I'm playing it more safe than I should be, I think. What you saw earlier was the Gladiator came up, did put Rush on the Rhinodon, and kind of came up behind him to stay out of the way. Then the Willbreaker came up, and pretty much I'm loading up that one Savage. My caster put Trainwreck up on the Savage. The Willbreaker put up Puppet Master. I think the Beast Handlers are now advancing forward. They're going to enrage him. Well, so that gives him his 3 tokens. Plenty for what he needs to upkeep. So they move up, do some conditioning, do some enraging, do the stuff that they do, the best. Basically just trying to load up that one, Savage, because I'm going to try to launch him into the Croak Raiders, and hopefully, without the feed up, I know he's not going to be able to do too much, but I'm hoping I can get enough that he can whittle down some of the Croak Raiders. The downside to that is, they do have tough because they've been zombified, So that just means that they're going to, it's just going to make it, it's going to make it hard. The nice thing is they don't have anything that lets him stand up for free. So as long as he's standing over there, he's somewhat hurting them some with the whole being there, because he has reach. So as long as I can get most of them in melee with me, that should, you know, hopefully help me to control that side of the board. Because, you know, I have the Savage and I have Molik Karn over there. The Brute, I'm basically using him right now as a buff bot for my caster with Safeguard. And that's pretty much all he's really doing. Unfortunately, so those ones that survived, the Croak Raiders that survived from the attacks, I now have points of corrosion on me. And now Molik Karn goes. He ended up charging the one Croak Raider because I wanted to be sure I could make the range. So he charged. Unfortunately, I was actually in range of the Gator I wanted to charge in the first initially. Was it Wrong Eye, Snapjaw, one of those Gator people. So I was able to get to the distance without having to do a sidestep. Wish I would have had a better eye for that distance, but I didn't. So now Molik is, we're kind of just going through it, trying to figure out, you know, how much I need to do for Molik to swing on him. Rolling it out, and I'm just putting everything I can into trying to kill him, because I know if I don't, he's going to kill Molik Karn and really kind of be a pain in my side for the rest of the game. So I think I end up doing everything I can do. I do some serious damage to him, knock out some aspects. Spiny growth that's on him doesn't help me much, but I get to the tipping point of buying 3 attacks. So I like, well, to either buy 2 more and finish them, or try to finish them off, or put up Fate Walker, allows him to move backwards some. So I, instead of Fate Walkering, I decide to just advance him up and let him do his thing. So now the Rhinodon activates, who's been enraged with Rush. He does 1 to put his own Animus up, and he Threshers. Well, his Animus is a Muck, which allows any special attacks to be boosted. And then he Threshers, which counts as a special attack, so these attacks were all going to be boosted to hits. Unfortunately, I think I only get the one, actually the 2 Gators. I was hoping for a third, because I figured that'd be a good trade-off, and I don't, and I fail to kill anything but the 1.
Okay, turn 2. Certain things didn't go the way I had hoped, but we'll try to rectify them here. I pulled everything off, including Death Pact on the White Gators and Malediction, and you'll see why in a minute. Wrong Eye then activates. He moves up next to Snapjaw. Snapjaw took heavy damage from the first round, so I need to heal him some. I heal him up, then activate Snapjaw, have him charge Molik Karn. He does some damage, but not enough to take Molik Karn out. I then activate the White Gators, give them the Order of Cold Blood, and have them charge Molik Karn. Three of them take Molik Karn out. The other 2 attempt to hit the Brute, but do no good. The Witch Doctor then activates. He moves up and uses Sacral Strike to attempt to damage the Brute more so than normal. Not as well as I had hoped. The Green Gators activate. They encircle the Rhinodon and try to take him out. They are given the order of Cold Blood also. Bull Snapper activates. He moves up and gives Spiny Growth to the lead, one of the lead gators of the white table. The Witch Doctor then moves up, zombifies the blue gators, and they activate and move forward. One of them attempting to swing on the Bull Snapper. Maelok then activates. He gives our Death Pact to the Green Gators. And the reason why I did that there was I realized that with one Witch Doctor on 2 sets of Gators, that wouldn't be as well, whereas I had one Witch Doctor with the Gators and the Croak Raiders. So if I lost one of those units, that Witch Doctor could then zombify the other unit. And the extra Witch Doctor would then zombify the blues. So he gives Death Pact to the Green Gators and then revives one of the blue Gators. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay, due to some not so great rolls, the Rhinodon seems to have made it out of this fray of hungry snapping gators. So I activate the Beast Handlers. I try to get him close enough to where he can be enraged. I'm pretty sure I enrage him. Yeah, I enrage him because I know my caster can heal anything that's down. I think he might be down one aspect, or he might actually not be down any. I honestly, I don't remember if he is or isn't. But he is enraged, so now his, POW 14 will be boosted to a POW 16. But of course, other things have to kind of happen. So I activate my caster. She pops feet, as you can tell. I think she ends up taking the run charge order. Of course, she's not going to run her charge, but she's, going to put it out there. But her little guys are going to take the charge order. One's going to charge Mr. Hungry Gator that decided that he was going to, him and his Gatorman Posse were going to take out Molik. Which I was surprised Molik lasted as long as he had. That many Hungry Gators. So I charge in, do my stuff, and pretty much horribly whiff on doing what I need to do. Activate the Rhinodon. He charges the one guy to get him over to where he can do a Thresher. So he does one for his Animus of a buck, and then he Threshers. And so I'm just rolling out the hits first. And as you can tell, a lot of my hits aren't that great. But I'm hitting really below average. So for the ones that I did hit, I'm boosting the damage on. Because the dice minus, let's see, they're going to be an 18 at least. So dice minus 2. I want to make sure that I maximize and do as much as I possibly can to them. Unfortunately, the one that I really wanted to, I was hoping to kill a lot more and be able to benefit from the feat. But I was able to kill off the one. So I take the 1 Fury point off and I roll it to hit on the gator behind me with my tail attack, because his tail attack is 360. So that works out really nice. I back up the Gladiator to put Rush onto the Bronzeback, because I'm hoping I get the Bronzeback in to combat. I'll probably end up having him charge the objective, and if he puts, once he gets there, he puts his Animus up. It might work out really well. The Brute charges in, and of course, General 1812 ends up making a couple tough checks, making it rough on me to try to, you know, to do what I need to do. So then I activate the other beast handlers, enrage stuff. Well, they did that before the guy charged. So now the Bronzeback activates, and we're trying to figure out where exactly he's going to go. I'm just trying to get to the, you know, the end of his range. He does one for his Animus of Trainwreck, which he auto hits the objective and does some damage, and then does, you know, secondary hit, does some more damage, and both of those allow me to do my beat back move because I successfully hit. So now I'm going to, because I killed a model, I get to remove a point of fury, and now I get to start, you know, use my third attack on the first gator, do the beat back, and start buying. That's kind of cool. A little die right there was actually on its corner. It was really weird, but it's kind of cool. And now I'm just, as the Animus says, I'm train wrecking back through his forces, and I'm just trying to, because I figure I'm probably going to lose that Bronzeback here this next round. So I'm trying to get as much work out of him as I was supposed to get out of Molik Karn, who ended up dying a lot earlier. So now the dice kind of start swinging the opposite direction, making it really tough for me. Having to put a lot of fury out there. End up killing a guy, pull the fury, then going through and buy an attack. You know, to hit. And like I said, right now it's just a matter of trying to do as much as I possibly can to take as much off the table as I possibly can. So there was another gator that went. I moved over. I think I'm swinging on where the little mini caster is, and I'm at plus a lot for his damage. So then I move up, and the only thing left is the bull snapper there. So I go ahead and I swing on the bull snapper, and poor damage. But I still do quite a bit because I'm at plus, I don't know, like 7 or something like that to him. It's crazy.
Okay, turn 3 was very painful for me. That's when Pokey activated Makeda's feat and pretty much decimated me. But more held on than I thought would. So my turn, I need to get Maelok up a little bit so I can use him to hopefully mass effectiveness. So I activate the snapper that's in front of him between the Bronzeback and the Rhinodon and have him put Spiny Growth on one of those gators. I then activate Maelok, move him up, pop his feat of Incorporeal, and revive. And I paid for the upkeep for the undead. And then I revived 2 Gators of Maelok's. And I think I made a mistake there. So if you catch it, guys, let me know, but I'm pretty sure I think I did. But then again, so we have 2 Gators revived, and we charged Makeda with the white Gators. They attempt to do as much damage as possible, and she's able to reave some to the Titan and one of the brutes. I then activate the blue Gators and move to have them charge Makeda, and they are also chanting Cold Blood. And they try to swing at her and hit her over the wall. Now, 3 of the Gators go for Makeda. One of them stays near the brute and tries to take him out. The green Gators activate and they try to take out the Rhinodon. The Witch Doctor activates and gives Zombify to the unit. And that's the end of my turn.
Alright, 2 things to begin this turn. First of all, I think the shallow water next to the Rhinodon must be filled with happy juice because the Rhinodon is still sitting there. Those Gators still beating on him, but still not getting the job done. Second thing is, I've heard of delivery, but I don't think Makeda's ever had the Gator skins delivered directly to her up front, close and personal like this. Not looking good for her. Luckily, she is now battle driven, and Vortex of Destruction was cast early on in the game. I actually upkept it. Yeah, I ended up upkeeping it. And the Bronzeback is still alive. I think the Bronzeback ended up failing its frenzy check and couldn't do anything this turn because, well, I had a lot of fury on the table. And yeah, so there was just a lot of fury on the table. And it was one of those things that either lose multiple beasts or just lose the Bronzeback for a turn. So I think I just went for losing the Bronzeback for a turn. Activating my caster first. She, her guards are coming back. She moves forward. Of course, the one on the outside swinging on the little undead froggies. And single wound, being low arm, I was able to hit him. I have a good mat, so it was good for me. The other one was swinging on some Gators. POW 14, 2 swings, back arc, so it worked out kind of nice. Now Makeda, and also being inside the Vortex of Destruction, so it worked out nice. Now Makeda's just sitting there, just buying attacks on Gators, hoping to reduce, so she can reuse later, for boots and purses and such. Kind of be nice if I would have had my feet now, because that would be awesome. Because for each of those guys I'm killing off, I'd be adding a point of fury that I could spend to do something else. One thing to point out, they are zombified, so I am not able to do my ability of Blood Boon. Because if I could have done Blood Boon, I would have actually probably positioned the one Exalted Guardian just to the top of the screen a little differently, so I could have done a, well, her spell that Eliminator. That's what it is. But now we're on to the Gladiator. Luckily for him, it's the both of them are still in her melee range, so he gets the boosted damage rolls. Because it just has to be the enemy has to be in her melee range for him to get boosted. So that's really nice. So I was able to take out, what, 3 Gators. The other ones ended up either toughing or something else. The blue beast handlers ended up activating. They enraged and tried to kill off the one blue Gator right there in front of the Brute, but wasn't able to. So the Rhinodon goes and does his thing of, a Muck, Thresher, able to take out the one that snuck behind him, and then do some damage to the other ones, because right now they're like armor 20 or 22, because I think one of them has spiny growth on them. So under the feet, it's just gross how their armor just skyrockets. So I'm just doing everything I can, because hey, this is turn 4 and the Rhinodon is still on the table. He hasn't moved since turn 2, but he's still on the table. That's pretty fantastic in my book. Alright, so now we get that guy. He's going to come over and he's going to try swinging on some Gators, because it's all about trying to clear people off of Makeda. So he swung, he missed, but because they have prescience, they can boost after the fact, which is really nice for her feet turn. So I did what I could. I was able to kill off one Gator. I bought an attack against the other one there. Not doing enough to kill it, so I bought another attack and was able to kill off another Gator. So now, out of all the Gators that were surrounding her, she's down to 1. There's 1 more left in range of her. So the Beast Handlers activate, and their basic job right now is to try to take out the last Gator, or ding the last Gator, and block a path to my caster. So that Brute, he's trying to kill off that one Gator. POW 12, not doing really a lot of work.
Turn 4 was my Hail Mary run. It didn't work out. First, I moved the Bull Snapper. I moved him away so I could get a run with Maelok. He failed the free strike, which I knew he would. He's a squishy. I then activate the green Gators to take out the Rhinodon. They do so with cold blood. Then Maelok charges. He makes a kill. Then he casts Revive for 2 Gators, for the white Gators. They then make another attempt at Makeda, but she has so much fury, nothing much happens. Blue Gator activates and he swings on the Cyclops. Does a ping or 2 here. The Witch Doctor activates and gives the Blue Gator Zombify. The last Gator activates, he moves up, gives Zombify to the Croak Raiders, and they make an attempt at the other Cyclops. Nothing much happens.
Alright, 4 turns, Rhinodon survived. He did go out the 5th turn, well, the bottom of the 4th turn, but that's alright. Still a little Fury hot, so had to pull back. Ended up keeping Vortex of Destruction. These guys activate. They end up enraging the Gladiator, who's actually facing the opposite direction of the way he's facing, because, well, it's Skorne. That's what they do. They butt charge a lot. You know, tusks, overhang, makes it for a major pain. The Brute ended up, failing his frenzy check. Activate the Gladiator. Gladiator charges in, and with him having no transfers, him going all the way in to try to go for the assassination. And with that, that's the end of the match. Gladiator for the win.
As you can see, I didn't last much longer after that, but then again, I knew it was a Hail Mary attempt to try to kill Makeda, but she had too much fury and she was camping at the wall, and I just couldn't get in what I needed. All in all, it was a fun game. I enjoyed it. Pokey and I enjoyed it. We had some awesome dice rolls. We were using our brand new precision backgammon dice, and they rolled amazingly. I wish I could have had higher rolls, but when you average things out, it doesn't happen that way. If you have any suggestions as how I could have made things better for me, please feel free to post. I hope you enjoyed the game, watching the game as much as I enjoyed playing against Pokey. And hopefully you'll see this team again, and maybe I'll do better. Have a great day.